chapter 18. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. This is knowledge. Habakkuk 2:14, for the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, and the waters cover the sea. So the knowledge of God will fill this earth. Revelation 18:2, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great, Satan's kingdom, is fallen, is fallen. It's repeated twice because it happens twice, at the end of the church age and again at the end of the millennium. And he has become the habitation, the dwelling place of devils, and the hole, the prison of every foul spirit, unclean human spirits, and a cage, a prison for every unclean and hateful bird, the fallen angels. Verse 3, for all nations, these fallen angels have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth, these fallen angels, have committed fornication with her, Satan's kingdom. And the merchants of the earth, these fallen angels, are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. They are living through our five physical senses. They are just marrying and giving in marriage. They just go from one person to the other. Revelation 18:4, I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, come out of Satan's kingdom. My people, that ye be not partakers of her sin, the fruit of the flesh, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Galatians 6:7-8, be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to the flesh shall of the flesh, not of God, of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit, God, reap life. Get under his protection and he'll protect you. Stay out from under his protection, stay with lies, he can't protect you. Revelations 18:5, for her sins have reached unto heaven. Well, how did they reach to heaven? The prayers of the saints. And God hath remembered her iniquities. Isaiah 43, even I am he that blotteth out thy transgressions for mine own sake, and will not remember thy sins. Put me in remembrance, he said. Speak my word. Revelations 18:6, reward her even as she rewarded you. Eye for an eye. Sowing and reaping. Separate people from the devil. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities. He gets it eye for an eye. People get mercy. Reward her even as she rewarded you, eye for an eye, sowing and reaping. Double unto her double, according to her words. In the cup which she hath filled to her double. This double repeats because of the church age and again in the millennium. Revelations 18:7. How much she, Satan's kingdom, hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I said a queen, and no widow, and shall see no sorrow. The devil don't know what's coming. Revelation 18:8, therefore shall her plagues come on her in one day, or in one age. Death, and mourning, and famine. She shall be utterly burned with fire. This is tongues of fire. This is the end of the church age. This is the end of the millennium, a literal fire. But during the church age, these are tongues of instruction. For strong is the Lord God, the Lord, Spirit, and the bride, who judgeth her. Know ye not that we shall judge angels? We need to start that now. Revelation 22:17, the Spirit and the bride say, come. Revelations 18:9. And the kings of the earth, these fallen angels who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, bewail her and lament for her. And when they shall see the smoke of her burning, Revelations 18:10, standing afar off from the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city, Satan's kingdom, that mighty city, for in 1 hour, and the word 1 hour means a certain season, the end of the church age and again at the end of the millennium, is thy judgment come. The merchants of the earth, these fallen angels, shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth her merchandise any more. And the merchants of gold and silver and precious stones and pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood and all thy manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of precious wood and brass and iron and marble, cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil, fine flour and wheat, beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. All of these are just natural illustrations of the souls of men. That's God's wealth. You talking about the wealth of the enemy that's laid up for the righteous? It's the souls of men. It's not a literal wealth. It's the souls of men. We're his jewels. We're his wealth. And that's what the devil has stolen, the souls of men. And that's what we've got to get back. Revelations 18:14, and the fruit of the flesh, that thy soul lusteth after. The devil, he gave up that body. He can only feel those emotions through your emotions. The fruit of the flesh, the five physical senses through you. That's why he wants to indwell us, to enjoy the fruit of the flesh. And all things which are dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. Verse 15, the merchants, these fallen angels of these things which were made rich by her, Satan's kingdom. Revelations 18:16 is saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster, these fallen angels, of all the company and ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, the people, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning. This is Satan's destruction, saying, what city is like unto that great city? And they cast dust upon their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, alas, alas, that great city, wherein we were made rich with all that had ships, fallen angels, in the sea, people, by reasons of her costliness. For in 1 hour she is made desolate. Daniel records it this way. Daniel 7 and 9, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, Satan's kingdom, and the Ancient of Days, Jesus, did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and hair is his head like the pure wool. His throne was like a fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. In Daniel 7:10, a fiery stream, tongues of fire, came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. This is the white throne judgment. Daniel 7:11, I beheld, because of the voice of the great words which the horn Satan spake, I beheld even until the beast, the spirit of destruction, was slain, and his body destroyed, this false prophet, this lying spirit, Revelation 19:20, given to the burning flame. That happens at the end of the millennium, just before the white throne judgment. In Daniel 7:12, as concerning the rest of the beast, the fallen angels, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season at a time. They're waiting for the white throne judgment. The rest of the fallen angels wait. Revelations 18:20, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God, the Spirit and the bride, tongues of fire, hath avenged you on her. Revelations 18:21, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone. This represents Jesus. And cast into the sea the word made flesh, saying, thus with violence shall thy great city, Babylon, Satan's kingdom, be thrown down. Genesis 3:15, he will bruise the head of the serpent. Cast down at the resurrection, at the end of the church age, bound for 1,000 years, and shall be found no more at all at the end of the millennium, the final destruction. Revelations 18:22. And the voice of the harpers and musicians and the pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee. And no craftsman, and whatsoever craft he be, shall be found any more in thee. And the sound of a millstone, the word, shall be heard no more at all in thee. Revelations 18:23, and the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee. And the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, the fallen angels. For by thy sorceries were all nations, these fallen angels, deceived. And in her, Satan's kingdom, was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. All that died on this earth because of Satan. Hebrews 2:14, for as much then as the children of partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is, the devil. 1 Corinthians 15:26, the last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. Deuteronomy 30:19, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you. I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Choose life, for both thou and thy seed may live. Deuteronomy 13:15, see, I have set before thee this day life and good. So life is good. Death and evil. Death is evil. Ezekiel 18:32, I have no pleasure in the death of him that dieth, saith the Lord. Wherefore turn yourself and live ye.